Alright, this is a video on doing door pins and bushings on, this is an 85 Buick Regal T-type, so it's like Grand National. See the bulge in the hood. It's got a turbo V6. Anyways, I'm sure all the G-bodies, hinges and pins are the same. This is the tool that I'm using. This is a GM door spring tool. This is from NAPA, and you see it's got these kind of angles, like it's kind of like an S shape, these little bends. Well, I'm hoping that it's stronger than the one I got from Advanced Auto, which I had to return because it flexed here. It started to bend. So this one hopefully is stronger. I already pulled the door spring out, which would have been in here. It's easy to pull it out. Putting it in is a little bit harder, and I will show how to do that. Hopefully it will go smoother than before. I got a C-clamp. I got the GM door spring tool. I got like a pry bar, but this isn't probably going to be used. A hammer, a mallet. This is good for knocking in the bushings because it's a little softer than this metal. And I got my ratchet and a screwdriver, which I'm just using to pry. Anyways, I'm going to put the pins and bushings in this. And well, actually, I'm going to at least cut them out first, which I'll show you how to do that. But basically, this little cam gear, or this, I don't know what it's called, but the spring is in between right here, and this pivots on this, I don't know if you want to call it like a cam, but you can see it's all loose. So this might be shot. This hinge might actually have to be replaced. That's what I was told. So anyways, I'm going to still attempt to do the pins and bushings, and while I have it apart, I'm going to check out this and see if it's got some bushings in there. Maybe I could replace the bushings and maybe it'll be fine. I don't know. But it's obviously an issue. I mean, look at how... Sorry, I'm doing this all by hand with the camera. See how loose that is in there? I mean, you should have saw it with the spring in there. It looked like it was crooked. Okay, let's see. Hopefully the battery doesn't run out. I think the battery is kind of going bad on this camera. I just unplugged it so I can walk over to this side. See, I put in a new pin, new bushings, and here's a spring. So I already did this side. It's nice and solid. But I mean, with that spring, there's no way you'd ever be able to move it. I was going to do the lowers, but it's got the ever slightest bit of play ever. It's not worth the hassle. So, okay, let me set this up. Plug this in before it dies. Alright. Okay, so we could see that pin right there in the center. Alright. Now, luckily I have some tools that I don't know if you might need. I'm using an angle grinder with a cutting disc, so I hope you could hear me from over here while I'm changing the cutting disc. I'm in the process of painting this car myself. This is my first time doing this, so we'll see how it goes. So see, this is what I have here. See, is it in the camera? Is it in the view? Yeah. So you see, this is what I'm going to use to cut that pin. Cut it in half, and then I'm going to punch it out. Now if only I could find my safety goggles. down. And of course, it doesn't take me long to lose them. Here's the fucking... Gotta be kidding me. Where the fuck did they go? Am I blind? Oh, I put them inside the house. Right. Safety goggles, important. I almost want to put on my mask to cover up what I breathe so I can filter out this shit. But alright, so let's see. Yeah, so you're in the view, so I'm going to just cut it. Piece of shit. Oh, it's cut in half. Alright. Hammer. Hammer right here. Punch. Well, this is really like a pry bar, but it'll do. Okay. Screwdriver. See, in between the two halves, and then I can pry them apart. Okay. Put that on there. Wow, this must be painful to watch. Wish I had a real punch. Yay, there's half. If you actually had a real punch, this would probably go a lot smoother. Or you could even do this. So that's not too bad. You could grab your vice grips. You don't really need to lock. Oh, we're gonna zoom out. You don't really need to lock them on here. You could just grab them. So you could probably do it with channel locks. Twist it probably out without hitting yourself in the face is important. Well, there. Look at the whole thing. Came off. I think I'm gonna punch it out. Fucking piece of shit. The reason why you gotta cut them in half, I'm guessing these are original, but you see, I don't know if you can see it, it's got like this burr that sticks out so it doesn't fall out. And it gets in your way. So you can't just tap it out with a hammer. I just tapped it on the ground. So see, this is loose. It's like kind of not in all the way. So I'm hoping that I could put a bushing in there or something. If not, I don't know how I'm going to fix it. I do have a welder. I could maybe weld the tip and make it wider again, but I don't know. I might need to get a new bushing. So let's see. So here's a lower bushing is in here, and it's bad. And what I did to remove mine, which may not be the best method, actually they go from this way out. If I had the right size punch, it'd probably be better. That way I don't nick up the hinge itself. Some of it's already cracked and shit, so maybe it'll just fall out if I try to break it more. I'm gonna get the regular hammer out, so when I whack it, it's really got some force. Then again, a punch would be better than a screwdriver, but work with what you got. I could probably take these safety goggles off and then I could see. Underneath there's like a little lip. This bushing, let me see if you could see it. You could see it's like a bronze looking insert that's inside the hole for that hinge. Alright, hopefully that's a good angle for you. There we go, she came out. So here's the old one. Like I said, I'm probably wasting my time even putting this in there because I think that the other, I guess let's call it cam, is shot on the rest of the hinge. So it's probably a waste. But I might take that apart and just see what it does. This is the upper door hinge, and there's a lower one. The lower one does not have the spring in there. It's just a simpler hinge. So, yeah, let's see. I went to 2 different advanced autos because they only had 2 and I wanted to do all 4. 2 on each side, and each advanced auto only had 2 door bushing pin kits. So the first one I went to had 2 of these, and then the other one had 2 of these. So they're 2 different brands, I would say, but they're the same, I'm sure. I'm just gonna see which one fits the tightest and go with that. Oh, another thing is to lube them up first. At least spray some penetrating oil or something, you know, just to kind of help when you press them in. I'm going to press them in with my C-clamp. And then I'm going to tap them the rest of the way gently with the mallet. So again, let's see, get it in the picture. Just going to put a little bit all the way around. You probably can't even see it, but anyways, I'm gonna even spray some in here. This shit gets annoying because it gets all over you. But, you know, oh, look at that one just pushed right in with my fingers. So that's probably, doesn't really feel like there's any play, so that's a good thing, but I would have liked for it to actually need to be pressed in with the C-clamp, you know, because then I know it's, the hole is tighter. See what happens, the hole that the bushings go into, like here, this is going to be for the lower, see it's got these knurls, I guess they're called, and they grip into it. Anyways, the holes that these bushings go into, they eventually kind of wear out and get elongated, and then that kind of screws you. You need a new hinge, or you could get oversized one possibly. You could get oversized bushings, but I don't think they do that anymore. I didn't see any when I went to NAPA or Advanced. They didn't talk about them. So maybe they don't exist anymore. Maybe back in the day when this was more common style, maybe then they had the options, but I don't think they have it anymore. But you could buy new hinges, or you can weld the hole and then re-drill it. But I feel like then, what's the chances that they don't line up? You know, so that's why I kind of don't want to do that. I do have a welder. Let's see. And make sure it's, you know, even looking when you first start pressing it in, because if it's crooked, I already cracked one on the other side when I did that one initially. I'm not liking that. It's fucking looking shitty and crooked. Ugh. Fucker. I don't really want to fuck this up. Yeah, so don't want it to go in crooked, because it might fuck up the hole, and or you might crack the bushing because it's only like bronze or something. But at least this is kind of tight, surprisingly. This is the driver's side, which you would think is open the most, you know, out of both doors. This one's used the most, and it should wear out the most too. But I'm liking that this is kind of tight. Come on, you piece of shit. Alright, there you go. Nice and straight. So you see, hopefully it's on camera. Of course the fucking stupid camera isn't leaning enough. Okay. So yeah, I pushed it in. Now you can't keep going all the way to make this lower lip flush, because it, let's see, I'm gonna lower this a little bit. See the lip down here, it's not all the way in. You can't keep going with the C-clamp because it's actually, the bushing is longer, it's taller than the actual hinge. So you don't want to ruin it by cranking it when it's basically bottomed out. So now we could tap it in. Alright, well, pretty easy. But like I said, too bad this is fucked up, because now, you know, I don't think I could really use it to begin with, unfortunately. So, I'll probably if I could fix this, I'll make another video for it. and I'll post it. Alright, let me fucking turn this thing off. Oh, well, I guess I'll show maybe the rest. I don't really want to pound all this shit together though, because, you know, I feel like I'm going to have to take it apart and then it'd ruin everything. So let's see, how was it? Alright, so you see this goes like so. You line up your holes and you slide this pin through. If it fucking decides to actually line itself up. Okay. So see, you would line that up. Line these up. And then you would hammer it, and you see there's nerves or whatever they're called, knurls, that bite into the metal, so you got to hammer it in. And what I would suggest doing is pushing down on this top hinge while you hammer this in, because these knurls are biting in to this part of the hinge. And if you don't push down when you're hammering, you're just hammering this part of the hinge up into the bushing, and you're probably gonna, you know, loosen it up or maybe fatigue it, in my opinion. That's what I noticed when I did that. The other side, it was a little bit looser the first time, and I was like, what the hell? You'll see it in my other video. I showed the play. You know, there's play in it. Look at, there's no play in here right now, really. Oh, but also when I put the spring in the other side, it took out the play. I mean, you can't, with that powerful spring in there, you can't really jiggle it anyways. So, yeah, you would hammer this up into there. Like I said, push down on this part of the hinge so that it doesn't, you know, stress out the bearing. So I'll have to make another video to see about this part and see if it's replaceable or if I got to get a whole new hinge. So that's it. Too bad I couldn't really show you the full thing, but better than nothing. Take care.